What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the NH Experience here on Sirius XM, channel 145, and all streaming platforms. On today's show, I have a very important and special guest. She is a renowned entrepreneur. She's also the 2023 Time 100 Next honoree. She's also the founder of Slutty Vegan, a culinary disruptor in the industry, does a lot for the culture. She's also currently embarking upon a book tour for her brand new book. Make sure it is out right now. You can get it in stores as well as on Audible to hear her read her story. I hope you fail from HarperCollins leadership. She is the one and only Peaky Cole Hayes. What's going on? How you doing this morning?
I'm doing very well. Good morning. Excited to be here.
Oh, thank you so much. We're excited to have you for sure. Now, let me ask you, as we start off, what made you write this book now, and who told you that you would fail?
So first of all, I wrote this book for a couple of reasons. I wrote it because I've been broke, I've been depressed, I've been sad, I've had bad relationships, I lost all my money at one point. But on the flip side, I got it all back, right? And I created a successful business called Slutty Vegan, and I became a wife and a mother when a doctor told me that I couldn't even have kids. So I know what it feels like to be on both sides of the spectrum. So I'm like, I want to create something where I can share my experience and show people practical ways to overcome fear and overcome failure. And that's what I put in the book. Obviously, I'm the marketing genius of the name. So I'm like, I got to meet people where they are, because universally we've all have experienced failure. But in the book, you'll learn that failure is not failure at all, right? It's an opportunity to get better, to grow stronger, and to learn the lesson in the bad circumstance so that you can rise above and get on top. So I'm excited about the book. I know a lot of people will be blessed by it, and how it blessed me. Even writing it blessed me because it made me look into my stuff and reflect on all the things that I've been through.
How did writing the book help you mentally as well as emotionally as you were going through the stories and obviously, narrowing down the chapters and being able to present this book to the public?
It made me realize that I'm still a work in progress. You know how some people write books and it's just like, okay, I'm going to put this in here. This is going to be a self-help book and do what I did. And I never had problems. That's a lie, right? So I face challenges every single day. And as I maneuver through my journey and evolve as an entrepreneur and a mompreneur at the same time, what I recognize is that I'm not perfect. And if people can feel like they could take this journey with me while they're going through their stuff and I'm going through mine, then you relate to one another better. And that's really what it is. So as I wrote this, I'm like, damn, that did happen to me. For example, I got kicked out of high school and expelled from all Baltimore City public schools for fighting. But I didn't realize that I had unhealed trauma that I needed to deal with. But I needed that to happen because that is the reason why I ended up going to Clark Atlanta University, because the story was already written. Whether I like to believe it or not, that story was there. But now when I look back at all those things, I'm like, you know what? As long as I continue to re-engineer when things happen that obviously don't work in my favor, I have to understand that it's happening for you and not to you. Did that make sense?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, that's great. I mean, I noticed that you're on the current book tour. As I mentioned earlier, you're going to about 6 or so HBCUs. Why was it important for you to share this literary work of yours with HBCU students first?
So I actually did my first commencement speech, and it was at my alma mater, Clark Atlanta University. And the theme was, I hope you fail, right? And I was talking about my story, how my father did 22 years in prison, how I went from job to job trying to figure out what was my purpose in life and what I was supposed to be doing. And I was just like, you know what? College students need this the most, right? They are having the biggest transition of their lives. They're going from matriculating at an HBCU, building new relationships, learning people, and then having to identify who they want to be in the world. And most of the times they don't know. And how I know that is because I didn't know. I was Miss Clark Atlanta University, a Delta, the Dean of Pledges. I was Miss Junior. Every title you can think of, I had it. But by the time it was time for me to graduate, I was still trying to figure life out. So I'm almost giving them the cheat code to show them that, look, let me prepare you that life is not going to get easier, right? But it can get mentally easier as long as you shift your mindset.
Oh, definitely. I think that's a great message. I think that's the message that doesn't get heard enough, not just by college students, but just by, young adults and adults from our culture and our community as well. I want to ask you too, when you first had the vision for Slutty Vegan, what were some of the obstacles that you faced, and how did you overcome those obstacles on your way to building $100+ million empire?
I face obstacles in Slutty Vegan every day. Scaling a business and being the face of the brand. If somebody would have told me that it was going to be easier, I would have been like, okay, you lying. Because it is not easy being the face of a brand that popular, right? So like if anything bad happens in the business, I'm responsible, obviously, because I'm the founder and the CEO. But as the face of the brand, they'll associate it with Pinky Cole, right? It's not just Slutty Vegan, it's Pinky Cole didn't do this or Pinky Cole made a mistake. So realizing that I have to make sure that there's always best practices happen in my business, because at the end of the day, there's nobody else's name on this except for mine. That's the first thing. The second thing, what I realize is that when you have something really hot, everybody wants to attach their name to it, whether good, bad, or indifferent. You know, sometimes you have people who are really good for the brand, and then sometimes you have people that aren't good for the brand. So you have to be able to protect yourself by way of lawyers and attorneys and making sure that you have the right people in place, so that if you at any point need some sort of protection professionally, you got that from people trying to take what you created, your blood, sweat, and tears. So I've learned a lot. I've had a lot of challenges in business, but then on the flip side, you've never seen anything like this. You've never seen a business become so successful so fast that started as a mom and pop from a Black woman in America doing it, right? And making it a cool experience and helping people to reimagine food in a way that they've never done it before. So what we've been able to do, you haven't really seen before in America. So to be able to create history while building history and making history is a really big deal to me. So I like to stay on that side of the positivity instead of all the problems that I deal with in the business.
Now, Pinky, you got an extensive resume, I must say. I mean, you've been a party promoter in Baltimore. Be More, shout out to them. You've been a TV producer. You've been a casting director over at the OWN Network at one point in time. When is the documentary? Because I've been hearing some rumors about this documentary that's scheduled to come sometime soon. What's going on with that, if you can share anything about that?
The documentary is coming. The reality show is coming. Movies are coming. So many things are coming. One thing about me is I'm not a one-trick pony, right? I believe that if you have several gifts, you need to utilize your gifts before they dry up and run out. And I'm not going to allow my gifts to dry up and run out. So everything takes time. I have obviously, a lot of great stuff going on. Like we just won a bid in the airport. So Slutty Vegan will be in Hartsfield Jackson Airport. We're opening more locations. We've got brand partnerships on the way. So a lot of great things are happening. And that's just on the list of amazing things that we'll be doing in the upcoming future. So I'm excited, and you'll be one of the first people to know, and I'm gonna come back and we're gonna talk about it when it comes.
All right. Yeah, because I saw a picture with one of the heads of Netflix. I'm just saying, I mean, is that
I get around.
okay? All right. I see things, so I'm definitely gonna ask you what that's about. You also talk about a shoe brand. Is how close are you to closing on that deal, if you haven't already?
So we already did. So we actually did a collaboration with Steve Madden, which was wildly successful. We sold out in 48 hours, so that was really dope. It was an all vegan shoe backed by PETA. And what I like about Steve Madden is they gave the small fry a chance, right? And although we're small, we're mighty. So when we launched that shoe, it was just really dope. And just to be a part of that level of history, that a restaurant could have a sneaker that people wanted to buy, was just like, okay, this is dope. So, so many great things have happened. Sometimes I pinch myself, I'm going to be honest, because I'm like, God is just so great. God is great, because it could have been anybody else in the world, but he chose me to be able to anchor this movement, and I'm just happy to be part of it.